Finnerty. I have conducted this work with Professor Mark Levine and Dr. Jared Piazza at Lancaster University. Increasing numbers of natural and social scientists see activism as a legitimate and critical enterprise. And these advocates are joining environmental social movements, leveraging their knowledge, skills, and authority to propel transformative change. Notable voices in academia have argued for scientists to step up for public actions, and what they highlight is that scientists, as trusted actors, can, one, strongly signal how serious the climate crisis is through personal sacrifices, and two, boost the efficacy of social movements. However, critics insist on maintaining the segregation of science and advocacy to both uphold the integrity and credibility of scientific endeavours. In a survey with 329 natural and social scientists, a key factor underpinning scientist activism was the content of scientist identity, in particular the relationship between perceptions of science as objective and impartial and science as a moral pursuit. So some expressed that activism was incompatible with science. Quote, a researcher scientist should be objective, and activism threatens scientific integrity. While others emphasize the moral responsibility as a scientist to act. Quote, for me it is a moral duty. I would not feel I was doing right by my responsibilities as a scientist, as someone who understands the risks, if I was not doing my best to create change, and activism is an effective avenue for this. Other predictive factors included activist identity, age, and level of interest. Correlates that were negatively associated included uncertainty about effectiveness, not knowing activists, and being uncertain about what they could do. Please see the linked preprint for additional factors explored in a more substantive exploration of this topic. I will also be presenting a poster on this on Saturday, so please come and see me. So what is the role of social psychology? This understanding of the scientist's identity as forming a psychological construct that shapes perception of and participation in activism. And so this is the underlying social psychological mechanism at play. What I suggest is it makes us question, how do we, as social psychologists, perceive our identity in the face of these global challenges? Is it merely enough to understand and document human behaviour and its impact on the world? Or should we take a step further and use our knowledge and platform for advocacy? The recent APA task force on climate identifies key roles for psychologists in research, practice, education, advocacy, and communications. And what I'm particularly interested in is this advocacy element. And they say that to complement the advocacy work of its own professional staff, APA can actually encourage individual psychologists to engage in climate advocacy and activism, either in concert with APA or on their own. What I suggest is that we seriously consider supporting and engaging in advocacy. As the IPCC notes, social movements can instigate system change and potentially alter the trajectory of climate change through social tipping points. As well as researching this topic, I also engage in advocacy myself. On the whole, I've experienced some wonderful benefits from a sense of community, as well as empowerment from being with other scientist activists. It's enriched my professional work, and it's an opportunity to represent academic voices in the environmental movement. Of course, there are challenges. You have to put yourself out there, and this does carry potential risks to reputation. And there is the challenge of grappling with the hard versus soft science symbolism used in these groups. But I would say on the whole that this is a very positive way to act on your convictions, ultimately. If you're interested in this topic, please come speak to me at ESAP. I will be at the poster session too, from 4:30 to 5:30 on Saturday, the 1st of July. Please also follow me on Twitter for future updates to this work. And you can follow the QR code here for a link to the preprint. Thank you.